It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission really is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Tondra. She's in the building, and she'll be talking about how you can go from being stuck to unstuck, go from chaos to clarity to your calling. Whole lot of stuff going on there. Let's see if that's possible. What's up, Tondra? How are you doing?
Hey Shay, thanks so much for having me. Let me just correct really quick. It's Tondalia.
Tondalia. I can say
Tondalia. But
Tondra.
I'm doing wonderful.
Tondalia. Got to add the Dalia.
There you
Tondalia, who's
go.
in the building. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I appreciate that. We got it right,
Yeah,
ladies
I
and
got you.
gentlemen. Tondalia, we got it right. She's here. Thanks for being here, and thank you to viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching and allow us to stream into your home during these very challenging times we live in the world that some people might say is already chaotic by itself. But anyway, my question to you, Tondalia, before we get started, is they're reading the headline and saying, go from chaos to clarity. Here's the question. Why are folks stuck these days? What's holding them back from really moving forward and living the life they truly deserve and they want so much?
Yes, such a great question. And many people remain stuck because they have no clear direction. We have so many brilliant ideas that we want to do, but we are honestly, sometimes we can get stuck in autopilot. And the ideas either stay up here or we're brave enough to write them down in our journal, but they stay there because we don't get clear on how to get from A to B, how to get from A to Z, and what all of that entails. So when we don't seek clarity and find a clear path and how to get there, they'll stay right there and we'll stay in the mundane routine of repeating life over and over again the same way.
What do you say to the person listening saying, okay, that sounds like someone else, not me, because I need Tondalia to know that I've had some challenges in my life. They went through a very troubled childhood. Let's say that. Maybe someone's watching right now and they say, can you let her know I've been through a divorce? Shay, can you let her know I've been laid off? Shay, can you let her know that I've been stuck for a lot of years now because of something in my past that's kind of held me back? Now, I know it's an unfair question. People are at different places. But what do you say to someone that's still stuck because something that happened to them in the past they just are struggling to get over?
Wow. Everything that you've named, Shay, I've experienced. Childhood trauma, divorce, being laid off. All of those things have placed me where I am now, to the point where I finally get it. It's like a mind blowing moment. I had to come face to face with the thing that held me stuck. And it was a way that I was thinking because of something that happened when I was 8 years old. I really lost my voice because of a traumatic event. And I felt from that particular event, I felt that I didn't matter. I felt unseen and I was quieted. So, because of that, that's how I made all of my decisions in life. And I began living out of a survival mode. So that is how I chose relationships, jobs, based on what didn't force me to come out of my comfort zone, out of that having that cloak of really fear, but we name it as feeling comfortable. But you have to be brave enough to come to that point. And for me, that point was therapy as well as life coaching, where I had to come face to face. But when I did that, the lid came off of my life and it was just very explosive and I was free to move as I wanted on the inside.
So authentic, so powerful. And she has written a book, ladies and gentlemen, called The Confident Mindset. But before we get to that, some of you didn't get a chance to read her bio. I get it. No matter how famous she is, no matter how she's been all around the world, some of you are like, Shay, I'm meeting this person for the very first time. I'm in the kitchen cooking right now, Shay. It happens to be playing and I'm listening to it. Some of you download the podcast. Maybe you're on your way to the office right now and you're listening to it like, Who is this person? Who's talking? I can't look at my phone right now. We'll slow down. I'll ask her to take a moment. She gave you a little peek that made y'all say, "What did I just hear?" Take a moment if you would. You know the question, by the way. Who are you? What's your backstory
Mhm.
that has led you to being so
Mhm.
passionate about what you're doing now, helping other people not only have clarity, but live a life in their calling? That's a topic for another time. Over to you.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I am a transformational coach and strategist. As he said, my name is Tondalia Shaw, and I love partnering with career driven women to shift from, as we said, stuck to becoming unstoppable by really rebuilding the mindset, clarity, and the strategy needed to live out your boldest visions. As I alluded to before, I was living in autopilot and living out of what people told me I should do or told me I should want. And that's how I functioned. But it wasn't until life's reality smacked me in the face and I said, okay, something has to change. When I began to see that I wanted my life to look differently, I had to start doing different things. I had to change the way that I thought. I couldn't think, as you all know, we can't think as a 23-year-old think in a 43-year-old's body. Things have to change, or life is going to make you change, you know? So I did that. And once I kind of discovered that secret sauce of being confident, and once you have clarity of where you want to go, I didn't want to keep that to myself. So now I endeavor to empower every woman that I come across to let them know your voice is valuable. Your dream, the dream that you had as a little girl, that's still valid. All we have to do is build you a roadmap accustomed to your life and where you are, have a focus and assured place and vision of where you want to go, and it really can come to pass because I'm living proof of that.
Well said, by the way. And someone's leaning forward saying, Shay, I like what I'm hearing. Like, I'm all in. I'm ready for change. If you
Yes.
could, again, abroad, when you talked about going from chaos to clarity and then
Hmm.
being in your calling can mean
Yes.
different things to different people, by the way. So if you had to take a moment
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
define what does being in your calling mean and look like to you, then it might look like the same for those
Hmm.
folks that are listening, so we can all be on the same page so we know what calling means.
Absolutely. I love that. It's operating for me really in your brilliance. Now, yes, I am a minister of the gospel. I love the Lord. I love him with all of my heart. But I also want that to be able to translate in real life scenarios because guess what? Everyone doesn't know the gospel. Everyone doesn't know Jesus. Everyone is in church. So, how else can I function and operate in my calling? It's knowing what you're brilliant at, right? And respecting what other people are brilliant at. Just like you just said, you may be amazing and you may operate brilliantly in this podcast sector. That may not be my expertise, but I do have something that I'm brilliant at. And you begin to lean into that. And as far as me with life coaching, I am a life architect. I love it. I love to cause people to really be awakened to their greatness and their purpose and really how to lean into it, lean into the things that we run away from, right? Our quirkiness or being a nerd or doing this, things that may be unpopular to the masses. That's really your genius zone. That's really my genius zone. So focusing in on that, I'll leave you with this one thing. I was an introvert growing up. I didn't like to talk because I felt, like I said, my voice was didn't have any value. And wouldn't you know that the time that I spend doing now is speaking on stages in front of hundreds of people. What in the world? But it's because I tapped into the experience that I've gathered along the way. Remember the childhood trauma, the losing the job, the divorce. I have used that as a almost like a catapult to say, here, I have the expertise in this area. You don't have to stay locked there. You don't have to stay there. That loss is really a win if you look at it this way. And that goes back to changing the mindset and challenging what you really believe about you. Who told you you couldn't do that? Who said that? Is that true? Right? So That's how you operate in your brilliance, and that's how you really open up to your calling.
I love it. And as you were talking, so transparent, so open, I'm curious. Someone is listening right now and says, Shay, I got to shift my mindset. She wrote the confident mindset.
Yeah.
Is there 3 steps that you would give someone that says, I've got to change my mindset? And you say, well, here's 3 things that you can do. Now,
Yes.
she's not, you don't have to go get an app
Hmm.
right now. I'm gonna suggest you get her book and some other stuff later. But if you were talking to someone, they need help with just the belief systems, just their mindset. What are 3
Yeah.
things that Tondalia would suggest that I do, Shay? What would they be? I'm all in. I'm ready now.
Hmm.
What would you say to that person that's listening, that's
Yes.
leaning forward? And I want you to know, as you're doing this could really shift your life. I know it sounds overly stated, but I want you to know, if you follow what she's about to say, this is what she does, ladies and gentlemen. This is what she does and believes. It could change your life. Take it away.
Yes. As a person of faith, the Bible, right, is really the foundation of my business. And I always start there with women. And I always tell women and people, if you are a believer, get the most out of your relationship with the Lord. I mean, this goes beyond just a casual Sunday. So what I'm doing is I am searching the scriptures for what God, the creator of all things, who he said I was in the beginning. That right there knocks out every negative thing I could think. That knocks out every negative thing that anybody has ever told me, because the creator of all things told me how he shaped me, how he formed me, how he's with me, he'll never leave me, how he's empowered me. I have all of this. So what I've taught my clients to do is you need to write down, make a list of every negative belief, what you think about you, all of the things you say that you cannot do. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go biblically now inside of the Bible, and you're going to find everything that speaks opposite of that. That's number 1. Number 2, what is really powerful is affirmations. Affirmations are powerful. Just like you eat food, you need to live, sleep, eat, breathe affirming yourself. Don't wait for any outside source to tell you who you are. You need to know it first. So when someone comes and confirms what you already know, right? And then number 3 is going to be, you gotta just take action. Don't worry about it being perfect. Don't worry about somebody coming to say, giving you permission. Release your own self, because that's the only way that you're going to get better, or that's going to be the only way that you know, wait a minute, I can do this. I am all of that. I am brilliant. And that's going to back up number 1 and 2 that I said when you start doing action. Woo.
Woo. And that wasn't a saying to stop. Hit the wrong button. That was not a sign to stop. You was on a roll.
Oh, oh,
That's my fault. Keep going. I
oh,
just hit the wrong button. Keep rocking. Keep rocking. My fault. Ladies
oh,
and gentlemen, I'm
oh,
not
no,
perfect. I
you're
tell my
okay.
wife, but I'm getting better every day. I'm getting better every day. I'm trying.
This is awesome. This is awesome. You're fine. But again, you're going to have to that challenge yourself when you step out on the thing that you know you desire to do, whether it's to build a platform, whether it's to write your books. Ladies and gentlemen, these things are so easy to do, but in our minds, it will tell us, I can't do this because someone told you you couldn't. In your mind, because you're lining yourself up or comparing yourself up with the person next door. They don't have your story, they don't have your experience. So you absolutely can. And once you do the action, that shuts down doubt and fear every time. And that again is how you step out in your purpose and your calling. And that's going to build your confidence in yourself before anybody ever gets to you. You already have solidified who you are and you're confident in what you're doing.
And as you're saying that, that's a perfect segue. I keep it wrong, but that's a perfect segue to a segment we have here called Today is My January 1st. Because, ladies and gentlemen, she
Mm.
gave you exactly what you need to do. You might be wondering, she ever had a setback, Shay? How did she bounce back from it? Well, she had a couple she talked about. But for those folks that tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you know what we're about to do. In fact, you can go ahead and say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you. That's a segment. For all the other folks who are tuning in for the very first time, today is my January 1st is our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do
Mm,
over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or for many of you, how bright and sunny that past is, the past no longer equals the future. And so, my question for you
yeah.
on the other side, Tondalia, is two parts. She can handle it, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st. What do you hear? What goes to your mind? And number two, what was a setback you had? And what were some specific
Mm,
things you did to bounce back from it?
mm. My January 1st, when I hear that, it's my chance and my opportunity to start afresh, to start anew, no matter what was. Today is a new day. And believe it or not, my January 1 moment, I'll go back to, it was actually my divorce. Now, I do want to say I don't celebrate divorce, okay? I love marriage. I love being a wife. I am a supporter of marriage, but I got married very young. And I didn't know who Tondalia was. I hadn't found out who she was. So guess what? I embodied and took on the role of Tondalia the wife, right? Tondalia the coworker, or Tondalia the boss that operated two credit unions, who was the manager. That's who I was, but actually living from my core. I didn't have that opportunity. So guess what? Again, as I said, when reality and life smacks you in the face, it forces you. You got to turn around and do something different. And this is when I was introduced to the best version of Tondalia. And I love the best version of Tondalia because I can give out to other people the best me. I know who I am here. I know who I am innately without anyone telling me that. And because I was living in survival mode because of what I experienced when I was younger, that's how I approached life. But now my January 1 moment gave me a chance to start afresh and brand new. And that is what allows me, that is what empowers me to really help women to shift them. To shift them from stuck to unstoppable, from confusion and chaos to clarity. It's my January 1 when I found me, when I found my purpose and I embraced who I really was. When you do that, you're unstoppable. Now, let me tell you again, you can do this while you're married. I don't want you to think you have to divorce to do this, but you're going to have to get intentional and really sit with yourself. That's a little bit of self awareness, one of my pillars in my life coaching program. Sit with yourself and say, who am I? What is the purpose that I am? What purpose am I here to fulfill in the earth? It's more than just being a wife. It's more than just being a mother, a coworker, a manager. There is something that we are supposed to deposit into the earth. How do we know that? Every one of us has an individual fingerprint. So we have to leave something here. But you do that by sitting with you, praying, asking the Lord to reveal and show, why did you place me here? I know it's something much bigger than what I'm doing. And then go after that. Get clear on it. Get you a coach, whatever you need is going to help guide you and steer you into that path that you believe you're called to go into. So that's my January 1 moment. I'm living January 1 really every day of my life now.
Ah, I love it, man. Said so well. You're on fire. You can tell, you can hear the passion in your voice. It comes out with your energy, by the way. One of the questions I love to ask when I have some time, I got a few minutes now, is what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? And I'll frame it for the audience so they're kind of clear. We're not actually come off the mountain with the Ten Commandments or
Mhm,
anything here, okay? We're not asking for
mhm,
that. She's had
mhm.
a lot of coaches along her journey. She's had probably more mentors, and she might not remember all her mentors, to be honest with you. You read countless books. I'm sure you watched a lot of
Yes.
videos. I know they talk about this thing called 10,000 hours, but I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I can do that with my thumb on the weekend these days watching videos. But
Mhm,
if you had to step back and say, here's one of the best pieces of advice that's been given to me that I want to pass on to the audience,
mhm.
what would it be and why?
The best one, and I recently heard it maybe a couple of months ago, was you don't owe anyone any explanation. I'm sure that we've all seen online, there was this meme or this quote that says there's going to be a lot of, well, who she thinks she is or who he think he is, because you start changing. You start moving differently, but you don't owe anyone any explanation. When you do that and you're always stuck in the rhythm of explaining yourself, you really fall backwards 5 times. You're falling backwards because you're trying to keep up when really you should be honoring you. Every time you put you first or you keep your word to yourself, you're honoring you. I know a lot of times we give out ourselves to so many other people, and we value their opinion more. But you have to take this is how you get clear. You have to take the onus and honor yourself. Keep words to yourself. You have to matter most, because that's the only way you're going to be able to help many people, is if you make sure that you're good first, right? That you're the decision maker in your life. So that's what I've heard. You don't owe anyone any explanations for you growing and changing.
Love it. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? It sounds like you're having a lot of fun. Puts a smile on your
I,
face. What do you just enjoy most about what you do these days?
Man, being able to see transformation in my clients, it reinforces and reassures me, Tondalia, you're doing the right thing. I'll give you this quick story. One of my clients, I worked with her. She bought a notebook full of ideas. I mean, it was so many, it was running down the page. And what she was doing was working on a little bit of everything at one time, but she wasn't completing anything. So I said, okay, look, okay, we got, you're only one person. You got to focus on one thing at a time. So she put the strategy in place that we said. Shay, in a year, she wanted to write a book. She had actually written one and she was working the second one. She is now a two-time award-winning author. I have a platform. It's called Voice Unleash, and it gives women the opportunity for visibility who wouldn't otherwise be able to be called because they're not known and they lack funds or what have you. I created this platform to allow women to share their story authentically. And when they're able to do that, you're able to find your clientele. And also have high powered women leaders to come and speak too. So the person who's just starting at ground level one gets a chance to connect on a story level, on a common ground with the person who is at a level 10. From there, my client was able to gain the competence to speak. She was able to gain her first client. She was able to become a two-time award-winning author, and to see her blossom and bloom when she told me that, I doubled over and cried in the parking lot, because I was like, this was my prayer. I want to help people see themselves, and that brings me so much joy. It really does.
Wow. I love it. And,
Oh,
I know you talk about, your confident mindset. I'm curious,
yes.
as you were sharing that, what does success mean to you these days? And what does
Mm,
success just looks like for you? I know it means different things, different folks. I know we transitioned, and there was a time
mhm,
success was just being here with you, which is this is the highest level of success. And another time it means some different people. So for you as an individual, Tondalia
mhm.
Shaw, what does success look like for you?
Mm. Success to me looks like being able, like I just said, to duplicate myself in another person. There's a scripture I'll say really quick where I'm sure we're familiar with it. One can chase 1,000, two, 10,000, right? If I can touch one person, that next person can touch five, the five that I never touched. But because I touched her, I really touched them. Those five people will touch 30. I never touched the 30, but because I touched the one, I touched them. So being able to duplicate myself. And another one is bringing a vision and a goal to completion. I saw it through, I didn't deviate, I finished it. Being a finisher is success to me.
I love it. And we say to the person now that's listening that says, wow, how is she able to do all these magnificent things for other folks and still take care of herself without feeling
Mm,
guilty? I don't know if you feel guilty or not, but sometimes the question comes up and folks say, hey, Shay, a lot of things I want to do in life, but I'm responsible for my husband. I'm responsible for my wife. I'm
mhm,
responsible for my
mhm,
relationship or
mhm,
my partner, or I got a child, or I'm a caregiver like Shay Brown, or they're back in school doing something back in school, or they're pursuing whatever they want as an entrepreneur, or they're a dualpreneur working a
yeah,
full-time job. And they've got so much going on. And sometimes we get that question like,
yeah.
how do folks do it without feeling guilty? And maybe you do feel guilty when you take time for yourself. I don't know, but yeah, please share with us. How are you able to do that? And what would you say to someone that just feels guilty when they try to slow down and just focus on themselves?
That's a part of the process. That has to be just as important as anything else. And you have to give yourself a chance to recover. Because I always tell people I want to show up as 125%. Sometimes my friends will call me, and if I didn't get enough sleep, I say right now I'm operating at like a 75. I said, you gotta give me a good 5 minutes. Let me let me recuperate or what have you. So I can operate at 125. I always want to give people the best of me. So if I know that I'm not at my best, guess what? I can't do that today. And that's okay because I want to operate at the best. You can't feel bad about that. Again, it's about honoring you because our hearts are always to help. Our hearts are always to be an advocate, but you never want, we always hear this, you never want to pour out of an empty pitcher because who's going to get the short end of the stick at the end? You are because you didn't honor yourself in the beginning. So it's okay. I know we hear that word self care and we think selfish and we're told to be selfless. I agree with that. I agree with that. But to give myself and be selfless, I have to make sure that I'm whole. I have to make sure that I'm at 125 all the time. So honor yourself. You're worth that. You have to know that the work that you do for other people, you're worth you being whole so that you can do more of what you love doing. You're worth that. You're worth the time, the break, the self care. You have to know you're worth it.
You are worth it. You're more than enough, which really says a whole lot all
Yes.
by itself, which is really cool. My question we come down the home stretch is really a two part. Well, let me ask this question first. When you're not out saving the world, what do you do for fun, right? When you're not out helping women have
Yeah.
more confidence, go from chaos to clarity, walking their calling, writing books on the mindset and what it means to be confident mindset and so forth. What do you do in your spare
Mhm.
time these days?
I love movies, Shay. I love movies. After I have said, okay, I've had enough for the week, I'm going to shut everything down. I'm going to have me a movie night, pop me some popcorn, and I can watch maybe three movies back to back. Well, the third one might be watching me at the end before it goes off, but
What's
but I
one of your
love
favorite
movies.
movies?
I love shopping.
You can't leave us
Now,
hanging. What's one of
Shay,
your favorite? You can't just leave us hanging. I know there's a lot of movies out there, but what's one of the ones you
Shay,
can put on as your
yes.
go-to?
Now look, now oh gosh, they're gonna get me. Now I love thrillers, okay? What I do now is that's my little secret. Shay, don't tell anyone. So I love
Okay.
Netflix, okay? I love series. I love The Walking Dead. Do you know that I have watched that from season one at least probably 10 times? I started it over and I'll watch it like I've never seen it before.
My wife loves
I
that show,
love
man.
doing
She'll put it on at night and just. I'm like, I know we've seen this before, and she'll just have it running, and it just. I'm like,
yes. What it is, I love the writing. If you write really well and you keep me plugged in, you got me. I'm hooked. I'll watch the whole thing like I can't hit stop. I'll watch the whole thing like it's not going to be there tomorrow.
That's hilarious. And you was about to tell some other things that you do for fun. I cut you off because I was just curious about the movie part.
Yeah.
Walking Dig, that's a shout out. We don't get
No.
paid for that, but that's a shout
hmm
out.
I know, right, right, right. And I love shopping. I love fashion. Absolutely. I actually wanted to go to FIT in New York. I wrote Vera Wang, all of that. So I love fashion. Hence, fashion made me do it. And also, I love getting my nails and my toes done. So that's what I do.
Sounds like a lot of fun, by the way. As we come down the home stretch, a
Yes.
two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days, if any? And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond the time that you and I have right now?
Yeah, so I work with career-driven women who believe and know that there is more. So those people who kind of have, everybody has a little side hustle or a hobby or that side thing that they're really trying to build up, but they really haven't given it the quality attention that it's needed. So that's the kind of roadmap that we kind of map out that what can get you from point A to B. Strategic strategy roadmaps, time blocking, things of that nature. So career women who are looking to kind of shift out of that and make that their main source of income, really building it up. And what was your second question? Where can you find me? It just came back to my
Yeah,
mind.
how
I
can they
am on
best
all
connect with you? Where should they
social.
go?
Yeah, I'm on all social media platforms. I give you a few. Now, my favorite one, it is TikTok. I love it over there. It's so funny. It's so homey and it's so down to earth, but you still get to connect with so many amazing people over there who will support you and they don't even know you. That just blows my mind. So over there, I'm at Live Your Best Life. Live Your Best Life. And then at Instagram, I am at Life Coach underscore Tondalia. And then on Facebook, I am at Tondalia Shaw. And I'll give you one more of my website if you want to visit that and you can check out the coaching opportunities. I actually have a master class. I'm excited about that. That's dropping and it's coming up on the 23rd of this month. And I'm getting to work with some beautiful ladies to set up some things. Already got some things in place and we're going to show them how to use ChatGPT and Canva and oh my gosh, and scheduling apps to help them to really build out this thing so they can know it can run on autopilot. You can do it. You just need the proper tools. So that's coming up May the 23rd, and you can register on my website. And my website is abundantlifecoaching.community. So www.abundantlifecoaching.community.
Well, let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Everyone need to connect with you. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, we don't have a show. And we know you have a lot of choices, but you choose to be with us. So we really appreciate it. And I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, by the way, whether you're doing really, really well and you can't wait to get to that next level, or you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming. The one thing I do believe is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Che Brown. It ain't changed. The Happy Entrepreneur. We out here, everybody. Peace. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.